Hello investors, welcome to Simpli Stocks. In the past 1 year, the price of gold has rallied 40 to 45%. Now that is a separate discussion why gold prices are going up or whether one should invest in gold now or not. But because of this rally, one niche sector is benefiting a lot. I am talking about the gold lending sector. In the gold lending sector, people pledge their gold with banks or NBFCs to take loans. And because of rally in gold prices, the entire gold lending segment is witnessing very strong growth right now. So in today's video, we will understand gold lending as a sector, and then within this, we will also study in depth a fast growing small cap business. But remember, this video is in no way a buy or sell recommendation. Please keep that in mind. With that being said, let's begin. Now see, what has happened is that because of rise in gold prices, the demand for gold loans is also increasing. With the increase in gold rates, a customer can get higher amount of loan against the same quantity of gold. And on the other hand, the bank or NBFC also earns more interest income by lending more money. According to RBI data, the demand for gold loans has grown by 122% from last year. In other words, it has more than doubled within just 1 year. This means the gold lending sector is witnessing very rapid growth right now. Additionally, because of the price rise, lenders' loan to value ratios have also improved. So that has also given them a benefit. Loan to value ratio means, for example, let us say if you pledge gold worth 100 rupees, then the bank or NBFC can give you loan of 80 rupees. Another benefit that gold lenders have got is that RBI has become quite strict on unsecured lending, meaning loans which are given without collateral. In the past 1.5 years, loan defaults have increased in microfinance and unsecured lending. Therefore, to keep risk under control in the sector, several checks and standards have been introduced. Because of this, demand for personal unsecured loans has reduced and demand for gold backed loans is increasing. You see, for one reason or another, people need money, right? Now, if they don't get loans without collateral, the next option that remains is to pledge gold. That is why there is a very good uptrend going on in the gold loan segment. Now, to play or ride this cycle, you have two routes, banks and NBFCs. But if you look here, even though banks do give gold loans, gold lending is a very small segment in their total loan book. Among banks, only City Union Bank has high gold exposure, about 27%. Otherwise, from Bank of Baroda to SBI, all are in the range of 1 to 5%. So this upcycle won't bring any significant benefit to most banks. Although among NBFCs, we have many names like Muthoot and Manappuram as compared to banks, because NBFCs have higher gold exposure. And I have noticed that retail investors make this mistake a lot. When they find a trending theme, they start buying any stock randomly, blindly. They completely ignore what percentage contribution that theme actually has in the company's business. If it is a small segment and even if it doubles, still we won't see any significant benefit, right? Now I will take your just 2 more minutes to explain you the difference between NBFCs and banks. Then we will come to our business. So just like banks take FDs from us and then lend that money forward, NBFCs also give loans, but they cannot take deposits from the public. They will go to banks or HNIs and ultra HNIs like Adani, Ambani, borrow money at 9 to 10% rate and then lend it forward at 15, 20, 25% interest. Generally speaking, NBFCs customers are riskier than banks customers, depending on which segment they lend to. But NBFCs have more freedom and flexibility compared to banks. Banks are bound by many rules and regulations of the RBI, which is why they cannot grow fast. NBFCs have this advantage of flexibility and growth. Anyway, coming back to our discussion, you must have understood by now that we have better opportunities in NBFCs, and the business we will study today is called Capri Global Capital. Capri Global is a diversified small cap NBFC and it lends broadly in four segments. It is in gold lending, of course. Apart from that, it also lends to MSMEs, meaning small businesses. Then it gives small sized home loans of 15 to 20 lakh rupees. So that becomes its affordable housing segment. And then it is also in construction finance, meaning it lends to builders and construction companies. Among these, its biggest segment is gold. That has a 36% share in its AUM. Then MSME and housing finance both have 22% each, and construction finance contributes 18%. Here you will also notice that about an year ago, the AUM share of gold lending used to be only 31%, which has now grown rapidly to 37%. At this pace, within 1 or 2 years, 50% of its loan book will be in gold. Housing and construction finance contribution has remained more or less the same. MSME AUM has come down from 27.5% to 22%. So we can say that Capri Global is going very heavy on gold loans. And overall, if we look at Q1, its AUM has also grown rapidly by 42% compared to the last year. AUM or loan book is the money that NBFC uses to lend forward. Now see, this push towards gold lending is benefiting Capri in two ways. First, there is very strong growth in the business. As I told you, its AUM has grown by 42% year on year. And the best growth has come from the gold loans. This segment has grown 69% year on year. After this, very good growth of 32% has been seen in housing loans. MSME and construction finance divisions have grown by 14 and 32%. Unlike other companies where we look at sales growth and profit growth, in NBFCs and banks, we have to look at AUM or loan book growth and disbursement growth. So the first benefit from this tailwind is that Capri as a business is growing very rapidly. The second benefit is margin expansion. If you see in this screenshot, they earn the highest interest on gold loans. Here the average yield is 20.7%. Then in construction finance, they earn 17.3%, and in MSME, they earn 15.7% interest. So gold lending is a unique high margin segment where despite giving secured loans, the interest yield is so high. Otherwise, what usually happens is, you must have noticed yourself that for the secured or collateral backed loans, where you pledge something, the interest rate charged by banks and NBFCs is less. They earn less there. The risk there is lower because if customer defaults on EMI or loan, the bank can easily take possession of car or loan, auction it and recover its money. In unsecured loans, the risk is much higher because the customer has not pledged anything with you. If your money is not paid, it becomes your NPA. It is your loss. Accordingly, the interest is higher there to cover that risk. But gold loans is a unique segment where despite being secured, we get to see high yields of 20 to 21%. So as the gold division keeps growing and the company keeps shifting towards high margin product, this gold loan segment, we will see very good margin expansion in Capri. So from gold segment, not only we are getting good growth, but profit margins are also expanding, which is why profit growth is going to be very strong here. These two benefits. So from the gold loan segment, not only we are getting good growth, but profit margins are also expanding, which is why bottom line growth is very strong here. These two benefits are coming together. In this direction, you will see that in Q1, that is in the months of April to June, their interest income grew 38% and non-interest income grew by 53%. But net profit grew by 131% year on year, meaning it more than doubled. When profit growth or bottom line growth is more than top line growth, that means we can say the business is also benefiting from operating leverage. Because of this, you will see that ROE, which was 7.8% last year, has increased to 13%. Quarter on quarter, NPAs have increased very slightly, but see, Q1 is a seasonally weak quarter. So we cannot compare Q4 and Q1 directly. And if you look on a yearly basis, asset quality has actually improved. The management is very bullish about future growth going forward. This year, they have given guidance of 16 to 17% ROE. Last year, their AUM grew by 42%, and this year they are targeting 30% growth. Within this, they are most bullish on gold lending, where they are targeting 37 to 40% growth. In MSME and housing finance, both 20 to 22%, and in construction finance, 17 to 18% growth is the target. They have a network of around 1140 branches across the country right now, and they plan to open to 200 to 250 more branches this year. Their branch expansion is also growing at a good rate. In the past 2 to 3 years, Capri has worked extensively on expanding its branch network, and they are now reaping the benefits of it. You will see out of the total 1138 or 1140 branches they have, around 820 or about 70% are gold loan branches only. The remaining 315 to 320 branches are a mix of MSME, housing, and construction finance. Another benefit that will now be seen here is that in their bottom line, the expenses they have incurred in opening branches in the past 2 to 3 years, those expenses will now stabilize. As you see here, how rapidly they have expanded their network. In FY22, they had only 117 branches, which they increased to 1138 in just 3 years. That is massive 10x growth. And because of the expenses incurred for such heavy expansion, there was stress on margins, which will gradually start reducing going forward. And the third major advantage they will get is from rate cuts. You will remember that RBI recently cut interest rates. And what happens during rate cuts is that lower interest rates are passed on to the customer immediately. But on the cost side, banks take 6 months to reset MCLR. So going ahead, Capri will benefit from this. Apart from this, all the money they raise from the market in future for lending will be raised at lower interest rates. So there will be 30 to 40 BPS benefit, which will create a significant positive impact on the bottom line. So now to summarize, we have a fast growing NBFC whose AUM is growing at 30% plus rate. It is also shifting towards high margin products. Moreover, going forward, we will see its costs coming down. Because of this, margins will improve and the bottom line expansion can be as high as 35 to 40%. Now I know I keep saying this and you don't listen, but still as a humble request, if you are liking this video, do give me a thumbs up. Also, you can subscribe to our channel Simpli Stocks, where we bring multiple such videos every week. Honestly speaking, your likes and subscribes are our only motivation so that we keep bringing such high quality research to you for free. So do like this video and yes, subscribe to our channel as well. Let us come back to our discussion. To support its future growth, Capri recently did a QIP and raised funding of 2000 crore rupees. This QIP happened at a share price of 146 rupees per share. This is quite a large fundraise, and after this, they will not need to raise further capital for quite some time. And in this, many renowned investors such as Prashant Jain, Sunil Singhania, and Quant Small Cap Mutual Fund invested. That is why, if you look at their shareholding pattern, the promoter holding diluted from 70% to 60%. FII holding increased from 1% to 4.7%, and DII's stake rose from 14.5 to 20.5%. And even in the medium term, Capri has a target to keep growing at a fast rate of 27 to 30%. Their goal is that AUM, which is currently at almost 25,000 CR, will more than double to 50,000 CR by FY28. So Capri Global is a good high growth business available at a good valuation, which you can study on your own. Now talking about the segments where they operate, you will see that all lending segments are currently showing very good growth. The MSME loan market is growing at 17 to 19% CAGR, within which secured loans are growing at 16 to 18%. The pure housing finance segment is growing at around 13 to 15% CAGR. And it is not mentioned here, but because of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, in the affordable housing sub-segment where Capri, India Shelter, etc. operate, the growth rates are even better. And in the most trending gold loan segment, right now the growth is 18 to 20% CAGR. This segment is also growing well because the market is shifting from unorganized lenders to organized lenders. Till now, what usually happened was that people used to pledge their gold with landlords or jewelers to borrow money. But now players like Muthoot, Manapuram, Capri, etc. are disrupting this unorganized market. The sector is already seeing good growth, and alongside that, these players are snatching market share from unorganized space, which means growth is even better in the organized segment. And you will see even today, only 37 to 40% of the market is organized. So this gold loan segment can become a long-term mega trend. Now in these segments, sometimes temporary down cycles can come. That risk will always remain, just like in all lending companies. You will need to check for yourself whether asset quality is deteriorating or credit cost is rising. Asset quality deterioration happens when the people to whom you have given loans start defaulting on their loans or are unable to pay their EMIs. When that happens, the NBFC's entire focus shifts away from growth and goes into recovering money, and growth completely comes to a halt. So if you are interested in any NBFC like Capri, then you will need to track this factor closely. But overall, if we see in all segments, Capri is in. Currently, there is good growth and the business as usual is also growing well. But overall, if we see in all segments where Capri operates, there is good growth and the business is also growing well. Now, you tell me in the comments on which banking or NBFC business are you most bullish. And if you like this video, then do give me a thumbs up. Along with that, you can also subscribe to our channel Simply Stocks. Making such videos takes a lot of time and effort. If you support us, then we will be able to bring more such high quality research videos for free for you. So please do like this video and also subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next video. Happy investing.